Sudden acid rain from the sky. Plush teddy bears were instantly melted. The rain instantly corroded the road. The car also could not withstand the corrosion of acid rain, gradually became dilapidated. This man has been drenched in acid rain and his face is completely disfigured. People were screaming in panic everywhere. A baby was lying in the car, looking innocently at the window. He doesn't know that danger is coming. The sunroof is about to melt away. The sky outside was dark. The acid rain is still pouring down. The whole city is in chaos. New cars on the road look like scrap metal after being drenched in acid rain. Acid rain is sweeping the world. Everywhere it goes, no grass grows. People did everything they could to survive. After a long time, the acid rain finally stopped. Karim rode his motorcycle with his wife and children to escape. He didn't dare to stop for a moment to rest, but the gods did not favor him. Before the motorcycle could go very far, there was a thick black smoke. The car broke down. The acid rain was about to hit. Karim decided to take his wife and son on foot. He gave his son the only helmet he had. The son wanted to take off his helmet, but Karim didn't say anything. He just kept on walking. They were discussing where they were going. Suddenly a stranger appeared with his arms outstretched and ran towards them. His head had been corroded by the acid rain. Elise pushed him away. He ran at a faster pace with his son in his arms. He couldn't let his son see such a horrible image. The sky was dark and cloudy. The Karim family ran into the woods. Elise falls to the ground as she loses her strength. Karim was alerted by his son to the presence of his wife behind him, but instead of stopping, he encouraged Elise to get up and keep going. Elise struggled to get up and ran after him. The son said he was thirsty. That's when they stopped. Just as the son was gulping down water, something terrible happened. What happens to humans when acid rain falls from the sky? Everyone rushed frantically to the shelter, but the place was already occupied by the people who came first. They threatened those who came with guns in their hands. The Karim family arrived at the same time. Suddenly a shot rang out, scaring them to the ground. The son kept asking what was going on. Karim reassured his son that he was fine. He wouldn't tell his son the truth. People prayed that they would let everyone in for shelter, but the people who came first said there was no more room here. Then they opened fire again. People were running for cover, but by now, his son was severely dehydrated. The only bottle of water he had left had run out. Karim grabbed the bottle and went to get water alone. He told his wife and son to leave the area first. The guards up there kept shooting at him. At this point, he couldn't care less. He could only run as fast as he could. Fortunately, Karim was not shot. Finally, he came to a house and ran inside. He turned on the faucet to get water, but found the owner of the house with a gun pointed at him. The owner was kind enough to leave him behind when he learned that he had only come alone to get the water. At this point, Karim was faced with a difficult choice. He could survive if he stayed here, but what about his wife and son? In the end, he shed tears. He chose between his life and his family. Outside, thunder rumbles. Elise kept on rushing with her son. Her son asked her why she didn't wait for his father. Elise didn't answer, but the son didn't want to. He threw his helmet away in anger and broke away from his mother to stay where he was. Elise sensed that the acid rain was coming, so she begged her son to come over and hugged him. Just when the two were desperate and helpless, Karim appeared. He put his son's helmet back on. They ran in the direction of the forest. On their way they saw a piece of tin. He picked it up and caught up with his wife and son and put it over their bodies. By now the acid rain had fallen. Karim was drenched to the skin, but he was not burned. Was the acid rain over? Just as he was smiling, his skin began to burn. The man was drenched in acid rain and in pain. His body is about to be corroded. Blood slides down the edge of the iron, but he didn't give up. He fought through the pain and escorted his wife and son out of the area. It wasn't long before Karim's hands were a bloody mess. His face was also completely disfigured. He saw a cave ahead and used his last strength to escort his wife and son to the cave. And he collapsed at the entrance of the cave. Elise took her son and hid in the cave. They rushed to take off their corroded clothes. The son kept asking her where his father had gone. Elise said he had gone to the other world to wait for us. Then she hugged her son and cried. But then she looked up and realized that the cave was not safe. Acid rain was starting to seep through the cracks in the rocks. Elise made an immediate decision. She blocked her son with her body and continued to crawl deeper into the cave. She was left exposed, but the further in the cave she went, the smaller the opening became. Elise's size was too big to climb in. By now the acid rain was dripping on Elise's body. She told her son to keep climbing forward and never look back. Before she could finish her sentence, the cave began to collapse. Elise was buried. The boy kept crawling forward. He became afraid. From the darkness of the cave came the voice of his son calling for his mother. He sounded desperate and helpless. He sang the song his mother had taught him and kept crawling. Finally, he saw a glimmer of light. When he came out, the sight in front of him was a shock. At this moment, the earth is like a hell and there is no human alive. Acid rain can corrode the earth, but not the human heart. The boy relied on the love of his parents to become the only survivor. You can subscribe and leave comments if you have any ideas. Thanks for watching. See you next time.